Hi, I'm Mike Lewis from the Fender Custom Shop. We're here today to talk about the limited edition Eric Clapton Blind Faith Telecaster. Now you look at this guitar and you go, well, it's got a Stratocaster neck on it. He said Tele, but it actually says Stratocaster right there. So what is the story behind this guitar? It's kind of fabled. There's a lot of myth to it. I don't think anybody really knows the full story. But back in the day, when Eric Clapton was playing with Cream, after the band split up, he formed a new band called Blind Faith. And when we saw them play at Hyde Park, this famous concert, he had this guitar. It was also appeared on the cover of the Blind Faith album. And it was very intriguing to us all. Here's a Tele-Custom, obviously from the era. The show and the album came out in 1969. But there was this Stratocaster neck on it, and we had never seen Eric with a Strat before. And so it was very interesting. So the story goes that he had the Stratocaster, and somewhere along the way he came across this body. Maybe it was a whole guitar, we don't know. And there was a lot of what we call Frankensteining going on back in the day, where people would take parts from one guitar and make a whole new guitar. As a matter of fact, Blackie, his famous Blackie, was that way, had parts from many different Stratocasters. But he must have loved this neck, because as it turns out, this is the same neck that was on the famous Brownie guitar that Clapton played, that we did. So we were very intimate with that neck because we had spent plenty of time looking at it, measuring it, doing the aging on it. And in the researching the Blind Faith Tele and looking at photos of the concert at Hyde Park, we noticed that it had some different wear on it. Didn't quite have all the wear and tear on it that it had by the time we got it when we did the Brownie, such as there were no cigarette burns here, there was no string winder marks on the headstock up here. So as you can see, this particular version is of an earlier aging than the Brownie that we did. And also down here you can see where the Stratocaster neck was jammed into the Telecaster body. It doesn't quite fit exactly, so you can see the gaps right here. The 4 holes line up, but the neck pocket doesn't necessarily match right down here. I think that's a really, really cool thing. A lot of guitar builders and things would make a new pickguard to cover that up, but this is real evidence that it was like a field job. It's like, hey, let's see what this sounds like with this neck on here. Maybe the old neck went bad. Who knows? Maybe you just love this neck. I don't know, but it came out very, very, very cool. Now, speaking of the neck, this Brownie neck, it's like a 56 Strat neck, and it's a really unique shape. It's got that kind of a V profile with a lot of shoulder right here, but the really unique thing is the dimensions from the back to the top down here versus up here, it's almost the same. There's hardly any taper whatsoever. This is like 940, 970 or so. So when you're feeling it down, there's like hardly any, it feels like it actually gets thinner when you come up to the 12th fret, even though it doesn't. Very, very unique neck shape. The rest of the guitar, it's in dating it, it's around a 63, 64 Tele, based on the sunburst pattern. And the real smoking gun was the bridge here with where the stamp is, where it says Fender. It's perpendicular to the bridge, whereas the earlier ones was at an angle matching the pickup there. And the slightly later years had solid saddles with little grooves on either side for the strings, but this had the full threaded. So that told us that it was like a 63, 64 Tele. And the other interesting thing about this guitar is the wiring. Eric used the original Tele wiring in it. A lot of people at that time would modify their guitar to have what we call modern wiring, where you had full bridge and neck by itself. Well, this guitar had the original wiring still, where it's bridge and tone. And then the middle position was the neck by itself and tone. Tone on both. Then the forward position is also the neck by itself, but with a big fat capacitor that gives it that real bassy kind of. I never saw a picture of Eric playing in that position. Most of the photos you see of him playing this guitar is in the middle, which is the neck by itself. And when you listen to the songs, that's the sound. So the rest of the guitar is in pretty good shape. The photos we saw wasn't too beat up or anything. And again, we didn't have the original guitar to look at closely, but we looked at detailed high-res photos from the concert and gleaned as much as we could of the aging and the pattern, pickguard, scratches on it here and there. It came out beautiful. It sounds wonderful. We sent a prototype to Eric and he loved it. So the custom shop will be doing up to 50 of these, all master built by master builder Todd Krause. Now, Todd is very intimate with Clapton and his guitars. He builds all of Eric's personal guitars. And we're looking forward to this release of this guitar this September. So that's the Eric Clapton Blind Faith Telecaster. Thanks for checking it out. We'll be doing up to 50 pieces of these master built in the Fender Custom Shop. These will be available in the US exclusively at Guitar Center. And for more information, please visit FenderCustomShop.com.